Welcome, everyone, to Rutgers at the Voice of College Football. I'm here with my fantastic co host, Gabriel Pickup, and we have a great show for you today. First, we're going to talk about updates in recruiting with our pick updates, and then we're going to preview the running back room for 2025. Gabe, let's start with you. What do you got for us?
Yeah, how's everyone doing at home? Make sure you like and subscribe, leave any comments, and if you have anything wise to say or funny or smart aleck, feel free to join the show. With that being said, I will start this rendition of pick updates. So it is the fifth rendition, at least according to my numbers here. And the first one, big news. And I kind of hinted that this could be news earlier on in the week, but Tavion Branch, defensive tackle, commits to Rutgers University, class of 2026. He's a 3.5 star because it depends on the site between 3 and 4. He's from Taylor, Pennsylvania, 16th overall Pennsylvania prospect per 24/7 Sports. And I mentioned the stacked lineup that we were included in. He chose us over Oklahoma, Oklahoma State, Alabama, Notre Dame, and Boston College. So that is elite company to rank ahead of in terms of recruitment. He went to Riverside High School, 6'3", 300 pounds. So he is a beast. 65 tackles in last year, 2024, 25 for loss, and as a defensive tackle, 10.5 sacks. Super impressive numbers. He was recruited primarily by DN's coach, Julian Campenny. So I'm super excited to have him. And yeah, so much for that kid. I'm going to get into that in a second, Jason. Yeah, that's going to be the next topic. But I wanted to start off with the positive,
Yeah, Jason, welcome to the show. Thanks for the comments. We'll get to that in a second, but I gotta make one comment here. So we have somebody who was recruited by the University of Georgia, Auburn, who selected Rutgers. Now we have a second recruit, Oklahoma, Alabama, Oklahoma State,
Notre
choosing
Dame.
Rutgers. Something's good's going on at Rutgers with Coach Schiano and his staff. Very, very pleased with this development. We're starting to compete with the big boys, and that means we're going to compete in the Big Ten.
Yeah, absolutely. This is like we were talking about Jared Smith and how he was probably the biggest recruit in recent Rutgers history. I have a feeling that Tavion Branch is definitely up there in that Mount Rushmore of recent recruits.
Well, welcome to Rutgers, Tavion Branch. Hopefully, can have an immediate impact, especially for a defense that's got lots of transfers this year. Good players. Hopefully, they can develop into a cohesive unit to improve that defense and ultimately bring the Scarlet Knights to victory against those teams that they lost to last year.
Yep.
Future's looking bright, Gabe. What else you got?
It's looking very bright. We're ranked number 10 in the nation in recruiting, number 33 overall. So let's keep that trajectory going. And with that being said, we do have to bring up the elephant in the room, the unfortunate news. Like Jason, you said, that kid from Adam Shaw, 2026 linebacker commit. He decommits 10 days after committing. Committed on June 1st, decommitted June 11th. He has since visited Pitt and Michigan State, with experts predicting that he'll commit to being a Spartan. Schiano may or may not allow commits to visit other schools. It's a pretty self-explanatory rule if true, but it's just word on the street. And my reaction to it is cool. Good luck. I feel like we don't really need to waste too much time talking about this young man. Plenty of bright spots to look forward to.
Hold on a second. I'm going to waste a little time here. All right, come on.
Energy positive.
This positive. This is ridiculous. All right.
Who cares?
Where did Adam Shaw go to high school?
I say who cares? We're top 10 in recruiting. We're number 33 overall.
Did he go to high school in Pascack Valley, New Jersey?
The future hasn't been this bright since silly bands were in style.
Don't start with the idealism. This bum goes to Pascack Valley High School, is a New Jersey native, commits to Rutgers, and then 11 days later, he's gone.
So get him out of here. Who cares?
What value does this kid have? What kind of commitment does he have? We want players who buy into the Rutgers culture, who have old school values. This is BS. Yeah. I wish Adam Shaw no good. I hope he goes to Michigan State and sits on the bench. And it's about time that you start holding these people accountable.
I don't have to hold him accountable because he's not our problem.
I think it's a disgrace. You commit and you decommit 11 days later.
So let me ask you this. You decommit from somewhere 11 days later. Would you rather that, or would you rather him decommit right before the season starts?
I would rather we not have recruited him in the first place, because obviously they did not see the intangibles about this kid, okay? Meaning his judgment, his maturity, and his obvious sense of entitlement. I don't want anybody who's going to commit and then decommit 11 days later. Now, Jason O does say that they upgraded with Tanner Raymond. That's a good point, Jason O. And Shaw's parents were both athletes at Michigan State. Well, you know what? Go to Sparty. Because go to Sparty where you're 4-6. But don't commit to Rutgers and waste our time. You're too soft on these people, Gabe. You're creating a weak entitled culture.
You know what? I think that you want to know what I think happened? I think this happened. Adam Shaw commits to Rutgers, tells his parents. His parents go, "Oh boy, honey, that's great and all, but I really wish you continued on at Michigan State. I mean, we both went there. Your sister went there, your brother, whoever. We want you to go there, and we want your kids' to go there." I bet you something like that happened. He started feeling bad. Again, that's all speculation, nothing confirmed. But if there's a family legacy at Michigan State, I bet you Adam went with his heart, and then his brain started saying, "Hey, man, follow your family, follow your family."
Well, I want to give parents around the United States a lesson, okay? You encourage your kids to follow their dreams, not to follow yours. 100%. And that's all I have to say about that. But I'm very disappointed that you allowed him, hold him accountable. You're so accommodating of these kids, and this is what's breeding a culture in our youth of not being accountable.
All right, old man. All
right. Go on.
Thank you. We'll save that for another day. But I do think that it's not about not holding him accountable. It's about him not being our problem anymore. And he doesn't fit the culture, so be it. I think we can move on, and we'll be just fine without him. He'll be just fine without us, and it's a two-way street. He'll go one way, we'll go the other. That's my opinion.
Well, it's a positive way to look at it. So I can't blame you for that. So,
I mean, I'm not saying it's all bright and dandy, but I am saying that there's nothing we can do about it. Why dwell on it when we have something good going?
Well, I think part of the problem is that you're right now vacationing in Florida, and the effects of Florida are clouding your judgment a bit. I'm just saying. I call it like it is.
I was out in the sun a lot today and yesterday.
Next thing you know, you're going to go to Publix and see DJ Lagway. Who knows how you'll turn out after that? Any other updates for us?
Yeah, funny actually. I was playing pickleball 2 days. This isn't even an update. This is just something funny. I was playing pickleball 2 days ago with Mike Schmidt's old roommate in college.
Wow.
Yeah, we were just casually playing, and I mentioned I was a sports media major. He goes, I roomed with Mike Schmidt in college. I'm like, dude, that's freaking huge. Anyways, yeah.
What I would have told him? I would have said, you roomed with Mike Schmidt in college, right?
Yeah.
But you ain't Mike Schmidt. That's the problem.
He's the Mike Schmidt of pickleball.
If your fame comes by association, hey, you got issues. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, Ignacio, don't gas him up, because he'll be more ego than man by the end.
Ignacio, thank you for bringing reason to this conversation. Gabe decided to get toxic with this Adam Shaw thing. Now I'm in a bad mood. You had to bring it up. Yeah, I told you. No, you brought it up anyway.
Whatever you say, Adam, Jello, Spello, Lamparello, Linguini.
Anything you'd like.
Ravens hot. Oh, okay, you know what? I came into this with the wrong tone. Let me start over. The Ravens hire Rutgers Director of Recruiting Ramon Ruiz as player personnel assistant. Man, this guy is one of the huge reasons for our turnaround. And Adam, if you can remind the viewers at home how drastically we've improved our recruitment since he took over in 2022.
Oh, there's no question. You're absolutely right. The recruitment has improved tremendously. We're starting to get players, and I've said this on repeated shows, we need to get the 4 stars, get a few 5 stars, because then it creates a domino effect where people say going to Rutgers for the development, for the NFL prospects, for the education, it's going to be beneficial. We've made inroads in North Carolina. We are starting to make inroads in Georgia. We have certainly made solid inroads in the state of Pennsylvania. So we have also made inroads in Florida.
Yep.
Okay, so Rutgers is becoming a national brand. When I went to high school at Bergen Catholic, from 89 to 93, Rutgers was, the place you went to if the big schools didn't want you. Now, it's the place where you go to even if the big schools want you. So I got to give credit to Coach Schiano and his staff, and look forward to what's going to be a very interesting season.
Yeah, and Ignacio, I believe that it is still the interim AD. Unless it went completely over my head, there's not been an official announcement for the new Rutgers AD.
Interim AD Jimmy Gill.
Yeah, who may or may not be helping pull some strings for getting some other guests on the show. But that's for future.
Don't be mysterious about it. Greg Schiano, we want you on the show. We are the biggest supporters of you in Rutgers football. Come on the show. Come on with Ethan. Let's talk about Rutgers football, the future, and what you see as the three biggest things that are going to help Rutgers get over the hump this year to become a contender, not just in the Big Ten, but for the playoff. Coach, we're waiting for you.
Absolutely. And in the meantime, with that sad piece of news, I want to talk about what Jason pointed out earlier, which is the fact that we got a replacement within several hours. Tanner Raymond has joined the squad. And guess what? Adam, a new state has entered the arena. He went to school in Wallingford, Connecticut. 3-star prospect, 60th ranked linebacker. On paper doesn't sound great, but if you think about there being 134 schools, that means that he's an average starting linebacker. 4th ranked Connecticut prospect overall. He's 6'3", 220 pounds. Now, the kid is a genius. You want to know why? Because the schools that he picked us over were JMU, Bucknell, and Columbia.
Let me tell you something. Bucknell doesn't have a football team. Neither does Columbia. I guess they do have a football team, but I've never seen it. Now, as far as James Madison, we've got some great transfers coming in from James Madison, so that's a legitimate program. And it seems that this player is academically minded. Always good to have someone with a high IQ, a high football IQ. But the question is, do they have the talent to contribute? Jury's out.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just we're gonna have to wait and see. But when you think about the schools that he was offered, and like you said, some of them don't even have football programs, that's really telling for, can they read a playbook? Can they think on the go? The kid's super intelligent. I'm excited to have him. And last but not least, when it comes to
hold on one second.
Sure.
As far as Columbia goes, apparently at Columbia, I don't know about their football team, but they sure know how to protest.
That they do.
I'll leave it there.
That they do. See, you were telling me not to be mysterious, and now you're being mysterious. But you know what? I think it's better to be mysterious in this instance.
A philosopher once said, "Courageous men are hypocrites."
All right.
So,
last piece of news here for the Pick Updates Edition 5. NFL Scarlet Knights alumni news. Kyle Monangai, who was drafted in the 7th round by the Bears, he's apparently been shining in camp, and the Bears are leaning towards having him as a primary second option. Wow, that's contradictory. As the primary backup, should I say, running back. His speed and shiftiness was an issue, but that's no longer the case per Chicago Bears insider Ben Devine, which is a fantastic name in its own right.
Look, I have nothing but praise for Kyle Monangai. The way that he was used last year, the workload that he had to carry, the physicality that he brought, the speed that he brought, the ability, the vision that he brought to the field. He was a special player, and he's not the biggest, may not be the fastest, but he's got those intangibles, and I think he's going to be a productive NFL player, and I couldn't be happier for Kyle Monangai. Congratulations, Kyle.
Yeah, I mean, congratulations, Kyle. You've continuously proved people wrong. You had to carry this program on your back on the offensive side. And then people say, are you going to get drafted, let alone, or are you going to be a UDFA with an impact in training camp, let alone be drafted? You get drafted in the 7th round. People say you're too short. People say you're not shifty enough. You're not versatile on offense. And then you come into training camp and you set an example that you're here to work hard and that the dream is in front of you and the only one stopping you is you. And you are correct. You are proving that correct. It's only a matter of time until you get a guaranteed contract. And I'm excited to watch you on the Bears this year. Even if it means I got to root against you 1 or 2 games, I'm still excited. And I'll be rooting for you as an individual every time you get the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%. And we have Jason O, who says, Shiano played at Bucknell, and look, Bucknell's a very good school. I'm sure it has, a good football program. But again, my question always is the players that we're getting, the coaches that we're getting, are they going to be able to compete against the Ohio States, against the Michigans, the Oregons, the Penn States? I'm all for development, but do they have the innate talent and the intangibles? And sometimes I think some of the recruits we get are either going to take a lot of time to develop or not develop at all. But that's that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fair point. Bucknell. See, the thing with the Ivy League schools and just the academic schools in general is they used to have a lot bigger of a reputation when it came to the college sports, just because athletically a lot of the programs weren't as developed.
Right.
But now you really do see the difference when it comes to an academic school versus an athletic school, which is unfortunate for the historical aspect. But I mean, it's a reality, and I'm not saying that this kid. That Tanner Raymond is going to be bad. I think he'll, like I said, his IQ is a strength. It's just, will it transfer onto the field? And that's to be seen.
Well, I'll tell you something. You and I should take a trip to East Lansing, Michigan this fall. Find Adam Shaw and give him a slap. Say, how dare you do that to Rutgers?
No, none of that. No. Do not.
Hey, Adam, I'm watching you because you have my same name, so I take personal offense to this. All right. Anyway.
Look at you harassing 18-year-old kids.
I don't like the implication of that, and I'm going to edit that out of this show. But go on.
I said 18-year-old. All right. But yeah, so that's actually the last bit of the pick updates for episode 5. I look forward to next week. Hopefully, it's all positive news, but most of it was, and I'm going to keep bringing it to you every week.
All right. Well, Gabe, always with fantastic updates each week on recruiting and developments for Rutgers football. Thanks so much for that, Gabe. I appreciate it, and so does the audience.